Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to make a video showcasing this TV stand that I created. And I wanted to show you all the fine joinery, the cuts, the type of wood, and go through the details about it on video. So here we go, let's get to it. So this here is the TV stand that I went and made. This is made out of Russian birch, SPF pine, SPF fir, and 1/4-inch paneling. One of the things that I wanted to showcase about this TV stand was the fact that I designed it so you can pull it out with these sliders. Just so you could get into the back of the TV and do all your hooking up around there. So everything hooks up to the receiver, to the whatever the hell it is, the router on top, blah blah blah, all the wiring in the back. So I made it in such a way that the TV pulls out so you can do exactly that. And it pulls out to the max right now. And this here handle is a drawer, which you can store all your stuff in. So the drawer, the TV, and that pulls out. This comes out if the TV is out or in, and you can just put it in. I'm actually amazed at how tight it is. Everything is just a little too tight because it's within 1/16 of an inch that I made everything. So when you look at the cuts there, everything was hand cut with a handsaw. There's a few cuts that were made by a skill saw, but the skill saw was screwed up on me. But everything is inset by 1/4 of an inch or 2 veneers, and everything is put together with 1.5 inch screws that are right there. So I'm gonna go show you the top part here, the back plate that you can see right here. This back plate was made so that way this upright was straight, like all the way down is nice and vertical. Even these two are inset by 1/4 of an inch, and everything is glued by Gorilla Glue. So when I was talking about the skill saw cutting before, this edge right here wasn't exactly straight when I did it with the skill saw. It was so screwed up that I ended up doing it with a handsaw and grinding it down flat and then sanding it. Some of these are a bit off, a little bit, but not much. Everything is inset like I said. So this part here is where it binds because of the length of the drawer that I made. And these here joints are rounded. This part here is 1 foot, 1 foot depth, 1 foot depth, 1 foot depth, and this is the remainder on the bottom. So I'm gonna try to push this in for you guys so you can see. It's just a little stiff. Oh. And of course I have to do this with one hand. Oh my gosh, it should be. Okay, I can't really do it with one hand. But when it does go in, it goes in. I have a feeling that the two sliders are not 100% true to each other. But I chose this part right here to be made out of a strong wood. And when I went to Windsor Plywood in North Vancouver, they had said that this was stronger than regular 3/4 inch SPF. So I chose that. So the drawers at the bottom here, these ones come out just a little bit nicer. These two or 14-inch sliders. They were rough cuts, and the bottom part here, the was made out of 1/4-inch paneling. And if you look underneath, if you've seen the pictures, I can't exactly see underneath, but they are flush with the bottom of this because I couldn't make cuts out here with an exact knife and draw it out or extract it, so I just made it like that. And everything here, like this, the only problem with these drawers that I made is the fact that the top part here is exposed. I could have made this face higher, flush with this part here, but I didn't see that when I was drawing this out on AutoCAD. This was hand drawn first, roughly, and then I did it on AutoCAD 360 on one of the Google apps, and printed it all out on paper, and then cut it out. This here is 1-inch spacing between this bottom here and the floor. I was almost thinking that with the weight of these two, that it would push this down, but this here is being pushed up by this. It is being suspended by this. So this shelf and this shelf is pushing up on this upright, and these supporting these two drawers on either side of the uprights. So, okay, there we go. So I want to do some acknowledgements here. Let me flip this camera around. Okay. Acknowledgement time. This project could not have been made possible without the help of my beautiful brother, my loving brother, my number one brother, Clay Baniski. As a result of being in an apartment building, I could not have built this in the basement, in the parking lots, in the back alley, or wherever without having to worry about things getting stolen or damaged or whatnot. But Clay had a yard where it is that he was staying, and I asked him if I could build this. It should only take like about a week. It actually took 3 to build this stupid thing, but I did. Not only did he give me the yard to work on, but he gave me food. He gave me pizza. He made me dinner one night. When I was there last weekend, he went and gave me food. He was also there to laugh at me when I made my tent. One day last weekend on Saturday, it was raining, and I really wanted to get this done. So I went and bought a tarp, I bought some rope, and I bought some 2x4s. I cut them up, and then I went and made a tent so that way I could get this done. And it was flimsy, it was floppy, around, the water was pooling in and out the top, I wouldn't make it right. Clay says, I'm going to take a picture of this and show Jackie, and I don't know if he did or not, but it was the most flimsiest tent that I ever made. Anyhow, it worked. I got some of the work done on underneath the tent there, but yeah, my brother helped me with quite a lot, so I acknowledge my brother Clay. Thank you. My other brother Lance was also there. They are neighbors to each other. It's a funny story. Not only are they twins to each other, but they're also each other's neighbors. They live like within 10 feet of each other. Frig. So this material that I used, I'm going to go through the cost of this. The Russian birch, a 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch, that cost $130 Canadian. The SPF 5/8 plywood 4x8 sheet was $35. The SPF 3/4 inch, the 3/4 inch pine, was $44. The 1/4 inch paneling that I used was $20 a sheet. The screws, I had about 100 screws that I bought out of Lowe's. It was about $10. The drawer hardware, like for the sliders, the handles for that stuff there, that came to a total of about $110. The Gorilla Glue that I used was about a $10 for a small bottle. Just got the job done. The grand total of this was $355. Now you might be saying, wow, that is one expensive shelf, but I have to be honest with you, there was some scrap. Out of all the plywoods, the 3 plywoods that I bought, the Russian birch, I had about a minimal amount of scrap. There's about maybe 2 square feet that I did not use. And that's pretty good considering what it is that I did use. I pretty much designed this to use as much plywood as I possibly could before I paid for it. The 5/8 plywood, there was maybe 1 square foot of waste. The 3/4 inch SPF pine, there was about maybe 4 square feet of waste. The paneling, I used half of that sheet of paneling. The other half of that sheet is sitting in front of my brother's place there. So I used about $10 of the paneling. So if I say that this was $355 to build it, to start to build it, then the actual cost was probably around $300 because I didn't use all the screws. I did not use all the glue. And yeah, so maybe roughly around, let's say $250 to $300 is what it cost for me to build this. Yeah, so thanks to my brother Clay for helping me. Thank you, Clay. And a lot of this was done with drafting on the AutoCAD and whatnot. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I'm going to do another pan of it. So here it is. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to show you. When I made this thing, the space between here and the TV was meant to be 2 inches. 2 inches on either side and on the top. So let's look at this. Let's see that right there. See the edge of the TV right there is 2 inches. Just about exactly. Unfortunately, on top here, it's not 2 inches because it has something to do with when I made it. But it's off maybe a 1/4 of an inch. That has to do with when I changed it. When I originally designed it, I wanted this part here, the shelf here, to account for my receiver. So the clearance between the receiver and that should also be 2 inches, I think. It's 2.5 or 2 1/4. I can't remember. I don't know what I did there or why I did that, but yeah, it's 2 1/4. So the TV fit exactly how it is that I designed it. The receiver fit how I designed it. Everything is sitting on this shelf exactly how I wanted it to fit. And yeah, this is the joinery that I've went. This part here was the most stressful, trying to get this to be flush with one another. This here is flush, but like I said, it's just whatever. It's a little tight, which is why it doesn't go in anyway. So I might have to take it apart, sand it a little bit, and then get it to fit properly. But oh yeah, the overhang. The overhang right here was supposed to be 4 inches, but because I had a hard time cutting this with the skill saw, it's just a little bit less. Back here, the overhang is about 2 inches. This here overhang distance is 4 inches. Nice, yep. Okay. So that will be all. Thank you for watching.